kingdoms anymore at all.
So that's how you know that this is a last day event. Because after the prophet does this, that's when we could all come together under one king. Under one king. After you show the children of Israel who they are, according to this chart, or according to this, as the prophet said, this stick with the names written on them, and then the kingdom comes. But first you must show them who they are. All right, let's go to Zechariah, because I know there's many questions about this, and the brother was talking about it earlier too. Give me Zechariah 7:14.
Zechariah 7:14 reads,
Come on.
But I scattered them with a whirlwind among all.
He did what?
But I scattered them with the whirlwind among all the nations.
So when you talk about this chart have the children of Israel in Pacific nations, right? In Pacific nations. But here in Zechariah 7:14, it says scattered us like the whirlwind amongst all the nations, right? Mm-hmm. So there's some explaining that has to be done. There's some explaining that has to be done. Where else in the Bible did it say he was scattered us among all nations? Give me Deuteronomy. Can we finish that out?
No.
Let's finish that out.
Whom they knew not.
Mm-hmm.
Thus the land was desolate after them,
mm-hmm.
that no man passed through, nor returned. For they laid the pleasant land down.
Deuteronomy 28:64.
Okay.
Deuteronomy 28:64. Because these scriptures like this must be explained. Because if we're looking at the chart, we say, well, no, this is all in the western region or the western hemisphere. What about when the Bible says he scattered us all over the world? What about that, right? Let's read on.
Deuteronomy 28:64 reads,
mm-hmm.
And the Most High shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth,
from one end of the earth, come on,
even unto the other.
Even into the other.
And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone.
So what's going on here? Ezekiel, we just read the prophecy in Ezekiel where it says, put these sticks together, put this wood together, and show the people who they are according to the 12 tribes. We just read that. And then the kingdom is coming. But now we're reading Zechariah, we're reading Deuteronomy, how we've been scattered like the whirlwind from the four corners of the earth. How do we put this together? And how does it add up? Give me Isaiah 11:11. I want verses 11 through 12.
All right. Isaiah 11:12. Mm-hmm. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Most High shall set his hand against the second time.
He's going to recover. He's going to set his hand again the second time. The second time. Come on.
To recover the remnant of his people.
To do what? Read it again.
To recover the remnant of his people.
Say it one more time.
To recover the remnant of his people.
He's going to recover the remnant. The remnant. Just like he's going to save the remnant, the 1/3 and 144,000. He's going to save the remnant of Israel, the 1/3 of Israel and 144,000 of Israel. Right? He's going to gain salvation. He's going to recover a remnant of Israel. That's what he said. Where is he going to recover this remnant from? Read.
Which shall be left from Assyria.
He's going from Assyria is going to recover a remnant. Come on.
And from Egypt.
And from Egypt, there's a remnant of Israel in Egypt. Read on.
And from Petros.
There's a remnant of Egypt and Petros. Come on.
And from Cush.
And even in Ethiopia, there's a remnant of Israel there. Read.
And from Elam.
And in East India, there's a remnant of Israelites. Read.
And from Shinar.
Read on.
And from Hamath.
Read on.
And from
the islands.
The islands of the sea.
Hallelujah. Yeah. So listen, there's a remnant of Israel in these regions. There's a remnant scattered about in these regions. There was a remnant when Yahushua was up on the earth and the southern kingdom was still intact. There was a remnant of northern kingdom around then. There was just a few still northern kingdom that was still around them then. So we know that there's remnant or pockets or small sanctuaries. Give me that scripture. Ezekiel 11 and 16. Ezekiel 11 and 16, I believe it is. Who got it? Ezekiel 11 and 16.
I got it.
You got it? Is that it? Sanctuaries? Is that it?
Yes.
All right, read on.
Ezekiel 11:16. Therefore say, thus saith the Most High Yah, although I have cast them far off among the heathen, and although I have scattered them among the countries.
You hear that? Though I cast them off among the heathen, and though I scattered them off into far countries, read.
Yet will I be to them as a little sanctuary in the countries where they shall come.
So there are small remnants and pockets of Israelites all over the world. Little sanctuary, they're starting to spring up. We understand that. We know it, right? There are small pockets around the world. But the scripture is going to explicitly describe to us that there is a great majority of Israel in a certain region of the world. Give me Jeremiah 3 and 18. Jeremiah 3 and 18. There is a majority of Israelites will be in a certain region, and we're about to read that.
Jeremiah 3 and 18 reads.
Read.
In those days, the house of Judah shall walk with the house of Israel.
The whole house of Judah shall walk with the whole house of Israel. Read.
And they shall come together out of the land of the north.
They're going to do what?
They shall come together out of the land of the north.
They're going to come together out of the land of the north
to the land that I have given for an inheritance unto your fathers.
So the Bible is explicitly saying that the whole house of Judah and the whole house of Israel is going to be together in what the Bible calls the land of the north. Do anybody know what we say?
The North Country.
What do they call America? What do they call America though? North America, right? They call America North America, or this is the Western Hemisphere, or the Americas, right? From is Canada called part of the Americas? It is. Yeah, the Americas, all the way down to South America, Brazil, whatever. All right, let's read Jeremiah 13 and 18 because let's not dismiss. Let's not dismiss what it is saying. Let's not dismiss what it's saying.
Jeremiah 3 and 18 reads, in those days the house of Judah shall walk with the house of Israel.
So both houses, not as opposed to a remnant, the whole house. So the majority of the southern kingdom, Judah, and the majority of northern kingdom, Israel. Read it again.
In those days, the house of Judah shall walk with the house of Israel.
Read.
And they shall come together out of the land of the north.
These two will be together in the land of the north. Read.
To the land that I have given for an inheritance unto your fathers.
You want to read the rest?
No, that's
okay, but you have to understand that both kingdoms will be residing in the same area. So, how do you determine who you are if both southern kingdom and northern kingdom is residing together in the Western Hemisphere? The majority of them, according to the Bible, both houses is residing in the land that's called the north, according to the Bible. And we understand that there are remnants of Israelites all over the world, in the four corners of the world. There are remnants, but the majority will be on this side of the world due to the transatlantic slave trade and due to the northern kingdom leaving the east and coming to the west. All right? We haven't got that far down into it, but we will. How do we determine this? Give me Proverbs 20 and 24.
Proverbs 20 and 24 reads, man's goings are of the Most High.
Read.
How can a man then understand his own way?
How do you understand your own way? Because if your goings is directed, your steps are ordered by the Most High, how do you determine your own way? How do I know? How do we even know that we was Israelites? We got a brother right here right now today. We argued him down. Well, he argued us down. Me and Keith, the brother sitting in here right now, that's a believer. He argued us down. What was it? 3 years ago? 3 years ago? 2 years ago? He argued us down that he wasn't an Israelite. That he, no, I'm not. We can forget about that. Nope. You Negroes is crazy. I'm not an Israelite. That's a lie. A year later, he called back. He understands that now he an Israelite. So how is your steps ordered? It's the spirit. When it's your time, it's your time. Keith has been with me for years. He wasn't coming to the truth. You couldn't pay him to come to the truth. He just wasn't doing it. Then all of a sudden, boom, the spirit jumped on him. Now he understand that. He got that understanding. He became a believer. You understand? How do your ways, your goings are of the Most High. He is the one that directs your path. He is the one that orders your steps. So why is it so amazing to some folk to understand that he will open you up to who you are all the way? I don't want to get ahead of myself. I'm trying to stay focused. I don't get ahead of myself. All right? So how do we know? We know by the Spirit. You know what I'm saying? The Spirit itself has recorded who we are. The only way that we would know who we are coming out of this, being that we're in our captivity, we lost our history, our heritage, our culture, our language, everything about us, and we didn't even know we was Israel. The only way we would know is through the Spirit. Give me Romans 8 and 14. There's no other way to know. How do you know that you Israel, period? According to the signs and the prophecies, right? The laws tell you. The book of the Torah lets me know who I am. Lets me know that I'm Israel.
Romans 8 and 14.
And the law is spiritual. I'm sorry, brother. Go ahead. Oh, no. 8 and 14. 8 and 14.
Romans 8 and 14 reads, For as many as are led by the Spirit of Yah,
Read.
They are the sons of Yah.
If you led by the Spirit of Yah, you know, according to the Bible, that you are a son of Yah. You are a son of Yah. Read, come on.
For ye have not received the spirit of bondage again to fear.
Read on.
But ye have received the spirit of adoption.
The spirit of adoption is accepting the Messiah. Adoption is accepting the Messiah, his death, burial, and resurrection. As an Israelite. That's your faith. Read.
Whereby we cry, Abba, Father.
Now, verse 16 is important. Read verse 16.
The Spirit itself bears witness with our spirit.
The Spirit bears witness with your spirit. You don't even know that you're a son of Yah. You don't even know that you're an Israelite. You have no idea. But the Spirit is the one that quickens your spirit, that clicks your mind. Wait a minute. I am the son of Yah. Oh, I am a child of Yah. I am an Israelite. That's what happens. That's what happened to everybody sitting in here. That's what happened to everybody that's listening online. It clicked. Boom. All of a sudden. You wasn't smart enough to get it, because if you were smart enough to get it, you would have been got it. It had to be the grace and mercy of Yah and that put his spirit upon you to say, hey, wake up. And one day, all of a sudden, you just awoke to, I am an Israelite, right? Come on. That was all of 16, right?
Yes, sir.
That's all I want. It's by his spirit, and there's no other way. By his spirit and no other way. Israel has always been a spiritual people. Give me Ecclesiasticus 33 and 3. I should have told, y'all gotta get these scriptures. Y'all don't get these scriptures yet. Sirach, and 3. Yeah. Watch this.
Ecclesiasticus, otherwise known as Sirach, 33 and 3.
Read.
A man of understanding trusteth in the law.
When you understand, when you a man of understanding, you trust the law. When you a man of understanding, you trust the law. We in here are men of understanding because we put our trust in our faith in the law of the Most High. Right? But watch this. Come on.
And the law is faithful unto him as an oracle.
As a oracle. As a oracle. The law is prophetic in its way. It prophesies to who you are. It foretells who you are. That's what an oracle is. You understand what an oracle is? The oracle foretells. It foretells who you are. It prophesies. The law prophesies over your life. It tells you who you are. The law does. All right. Give me Ezra. No, I don't want Ezra. I want Ezra in the not in the Apocrypha.
Old Testament.
Ezra, Old Testament Ezra, yeah. 2 and 61.
Ezra 2 and 61 reads, and the children of the priests, the children of Habiah, the children of Kaz, the children of Barzillai, which took a wife of the daughters of Barzillai, the Galileite.
Yep, the Galileite.
The Gileadite, and was called after their name.
So the children of the priests, meaning the priests are the Levites, right? The Levitical priests. So the children of the Levitical priests, who are Levites, they took wives of the Gileadites. They took wives of the Gileadites, right? And they lived in those regions. So when they lived in those regions, the people began to call them Gileadites and not Levites, right? So over the course of time, their children wanted to be recognized as Levites. But the people didn't know them as Levites. The people didn't know them as Levites. They knew them as Gileadites. You know what I'm saying? But they were really Levites from the Levitical tribe. But they had lived in that land and been known as Gileadites. Y'all with me? The children of the priests. The children of the priests. The priests are the Levites. You understand? All right, let's go to 62.
62 reads, these sought their register among those that were reckoned by genealogy.
They sought their register. They sought after their register, meaning their patronage, like their patronage, like their lineage, their fathers. You know what I'm saying? They sought after. Well, my father was this one. My father was that one. My father begot this one. My father begot that one. You know what I'm saying? Because it was a certain esteem or recognition that went with whoever their father was. All right, read on.
But they were not found.
It wasn't found there. Wasn't found. Come on.
Therefore were they as polluted, put from the priesthood.
Put from the priesthood. No, you guys can't be priests because we don't know who your daddy is. You understand? we don't play like that. You know what I'm saying? You might be an Israelite. You may be an Israelite, but as far as being a Levite, only the Levites can sit here. Only Levites can eat this food. Only Levites can come in here. We don't know about you. We can't find who your father is. You see? So what did they do? Come on.
And the Toshada said unto them.
The Toshada is the governor or the overseer, the governor of the people. Come on.
That they should not eat of the most holy thing.
He said, no, don't let them in the sanctuary to eat of the most holy thing. Don't let them do that. Come on.
Till there stood up a priest.
Until there stands up a priest. Come on.
With Urim with Thummim.
With Urim and with Thummim. Thummim. That's I always have a difficult time with that word.
Thummim.
Yeah. With and Thummim. Thummim. Right? So what is Urim and what is Thummim? Right? Urim and the Thummim was objects that the Levites used to judge matters. Yah allowed them to use the Thummim and Urim to see past and future things, like what tribe these brothers was from, meaning by the Spirit. So the Urim and the Thummim was more closely related to like a crystal ball, and there's like these rocks that light up. They would ask a question. You know what I'm saying? This is this brother from the tribe of Levi. You know what I'm saying? And it was. I'm just making an example. I'm not saying this is what actually happened. You know what I'm saying? Just for example, it would say that if the lights would flash on it, if it was yay, flash on it twice for yay and once for no. You know what I'm saying? Something to that effect. That's what they were used for. The Levitical priests the father always allowed them to use like oracles and sayings and rituals and things like that to judge matters all the time. And we're gonna get into that too a little bit further down into the lesson. Okay, give me John 14:26. Y'all with me so far?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Everybody with me, ain't nobody, like, what the heck is he talking about? Y'all with me, that's cool. That's cool.
John 14:26. But the Comforter, which is the Holy Spirit, whom the Father will send in my name, he shall teach you all things.
What he's going to teach you?
He shall teach you all things.
Come on.
And bring all things to your remembrance.
He's going to teach you all things, and he's going to bring all things to your remembrance. Come on.
Whatsoever I have said unto you.
Give me John 15:26. Next chapter over to 26th verse.
All right. John 15:26 reads.
Come on.
But when the Comforter is come.
But when the Comforter has come.
Whom I will send unto you from the Father. Even the Spirit of truth.
He is the Spirit of truth. Come on.
Which proceeded from the Father. He shall testify of me.
He's going to testify of me. He's going to bring everything back to my remembrance so we can testify of him. We will remember. We will remember. We will remember who we are, including what tribe you come from. By the Spirit. By the Spirit. You will remember all things. We have to come out of our carnal thinking and step over into our spiritual thinking, a spiritual way of thinking. These laws teach us who we are. Genesis 49 teach you who you are. Deuteronomy 33 it teach you who you are. Deuteronomy 28 it teach you who you are. It shows you. You add that with the historical content and you can prove. You can prove who you are. Baruch 2:30. Baruch 2:30.
Baruch 2:30 reads, For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people.
Man, we were stiff-necked. Read it again.
For I knew that they would not hear me.
Y'all said I knew they wouldn't hear me.
Because it is a stiff people.
Because they stiff-necked and hard-headed people. Come on.
But in the land of their captivity.
But in the land of their captivities, watch this.
They shall remember themselves.
They're going to remember themselves. They're going to remember who they are. And when that spirit falls upon them, they will remember all things. All things will come back to their remembrance. Oh, I remember I'm from Judah. I'm Judah. I remember that. All things. All things. It's not limited to. It's not limited to. Because at one time, remember, you didn't know you was Israelite. But he brought you back to remember you were an Israelite. How come he can't bring you back to remember that you Judah? Or Gad? Or Issachar? Why are we limiting the Most High? Read Baruch 2:30 again.
Baruch 2:30 reads,
Come on.
For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people. But in the land of their captivity,
when we're in the land of our captivities,
they shall remember themselves.
They shall remember themselves. They're going to remember themselves. They're going to remember themselves.
31 is,
Read on. Read on.
And shall know that I am the Most High Yah, for I give them an heart and ears to hear. And they shall praise me in the land of their captivity, and think upon my name, and return from their stiff neck, and from their wicked deeds. For they shall remember the ways of their fathers which sinned before the Most High.
They're going to do what?
For they shall remember the ways of their fathers which sinned before the Most High.
How you going to remember the ways of your father if you don't know who you are? How you going to remember the ways of your fathers if you don't know who you are? Read.
And I will bring them again into the land which I promised with an oath unto their fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and they shall be lords of it, and I will increase them, and they shall not be diminished.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. That's a powerful scripture, is it not? That's heavy right there. All right, so we done played our case a little bit. We done put it down a little bit. Played our case. Now let's go to the heart of the matter, to what the whole controversy and everything is about. Let's go to Genesis 49. Genesis 49. We're going to do our due diligence to try to break down the scripture as best we can. So we're going to be going back and forth from Genesis 49 to Deuteronomy 33. Start at first verse.
All right, Genesis 49 and 1. And Jacob called into his sons and said, gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that what shall befall you in the last days.
In the last days. Now, I heard it said that when this term, the last days, is used, it's not necessarily talking about these last days. It's talking about a latter time or at a later time. But let's see in Hebrew. Let's go to Hebrews 1 and 2 right quick. Because we hear this last day statement again. We hear this again.
Hebrews 1 and 2 reads, hath in the last days spoken unto us by his Son, whom he hath appointed heir of all things.
So the last days begin at Messiah, Yahweh Shah Messiah. That's when the last days start. The clock started running on the last days. That's when it started. When he was born and when he died, when he resurrected, the clock on the last days started. Boom. So we've been in the last days ever since the Messiah was here. We still in the last days. We still in the era or the dispensation of the last days. Still going on right now. Let's go back to Genesis 49. Let's start at verse 1 again, because it said this was going to befall you in the last days. The clock started at Messiah. You understand? Clock started at Messiah.
Genesis 49 and 1 reads, And Jacob called unto his sons and said, gather yourselves together, that I might tell you that which shall befall you in the last days. Gather yourselves together and hear ye, sons of Jacob, and hearken unto Israel your father.
Read.
Reuben, thou art my firstborn, my might, and the beginning of my strength, the excellency of dignity, and the excellency of power.
Read on.
Unstable as water, thou shalt not excel, because thou wentest up to thy father's bed, then defilest thou it. He went up to my couch.
That's all I wanted on Reuben.
Okay.
So, according to the 12 tribe chart, Reuben present day name is Seminole, or the Seminole Indians, right? Or the Seminole or the Muskogee Indians. The current location of the Seminole and Muskogee Indians are southeastern United States of America, or Florida and the South, because they have Muskogee in Native Americans in Georgia, and I believe in South Carolina as well, and in Florida. Okay, the word Seminole derived from the Creek. Y'all know the Creek Nation, the Creek Nation. It derives from the Creek word Seminole, which may itself derive from the Spanish word Cimarron. And Cimarron is a Spanish word that means runaway. Means runaway or wild one. So let's see if it fits the description of Reuben. Let's read verse 3 again.
Reuben, thou art my firstborn, my might, and the beginning of my strength, the excellency of dignity, and the excellency of power.
Was that it? Verse 3?
Yeah.
Jacob was letting Reuben know that being the firstborn was a blessing, because the strength and the power and the wealth of men were given to their firstborn sons, according to the Hebraic traditions. So all of the sons would get something, you know what I'm saying, a portion. All the sons would get a portion of their father's estate when he passed on. But the firstborn son was supposed to be his strength, his power, his authority, his name. You know what I'm saying? He was supposed to carry on whatever the father was doing. He's going to carry that on. So the firstborn son got the bulk or the majority of the wealth or the, what did you say? Inheritance of what the father would leave. But read it again.
Reuben, thou art my firstborn, my might, and the beginning of my strength, the excellency of dignity, and the excellency of power.
And read on to verse 4.
Unstable as water, thou shalt not excel, because when it's up into thy father's bed, then defilest thou it.
He slept with his father's concubine. Is that it?
He went up to my couch. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, he went up to his father's bed. He slept with his father's concubine. We just read some laws on that too, didn't we? Yeah, don't do that.
Leviticus 18, 20, 19.
Don't do that. All right. So, excellency and dignity. Now, Jacob was speaking of the characteristic of his firstborn son, Reuben. When we examine the Seminole Indians, they possessed a certain quality, a certain dignity. It is said that the Seminole Indians was a nation or a tribe of Indians that they could not put into slavery. They could not enslave them because they had such a high way of thinking about themselves. They were so high-minded that they rather die. I was watching a documentary not too long ago where the white man came in and he began to assault them. They were having a feast, as a matter of fact. They were having a feast, the Seminoles was. And then they began to be assaulted, right? But they were by a river. So the men, they had pushed the men back into this river. So the men began to swim, but it wasn't no other side. It was an ocean. You know what I'm saying? So they was taking pop shots at them while they was treading water. They said, well, they'll be back because they're going to get tired of treading that water. They're going to have to come back to the land bank. No. Those Native Americans drowned. They rather drown than come back and suffer defeat under the hand. They said, we just going to die out here. And they let the water take them versus coming back and going back. So that's the excellency of dignity and the strength. Like we're not going to be rude. We're not going to go for it. We're just not going to do it. We're going to die. You're going to have to wipe us out. We're not going to do it. You know what I'm saying? Because that's where they got the name Seminole from, because they called them runaway slaves or runaway wild ones, right? Because they would move from Florida to Georgia. They was unstable as water, according to, let's read verse 4 again.
Unstable as water, thou shalt not excel, because thou wentest up to thy father's bed, then defilest thou it.
This was Jacob was saying to him, is you're going to be unstable as water. You're never going to be stable in that place. And you will not excel. You will not excel. You're going to be constantly defeated. Andrew Jackson was one of the main ones. Andrew Jackson was one of the main ones who wanted the Seminoles dead. He even went against the Supreme Court. He went against the Supreme Court. He said, we got to kill these Indians. They got to go. So Reuben did not excel. He did not excel according to what our father Yaakov was saying. And according to the 12 tribe charts saying that's who they are. Okay? All right. So I was gonna go into that, but I'm not. I'm not gonna do it. But Moses prayed for Reuben, right? So let's go to Deuteronomy 33. Moses prayed for Reuben.
Deuteronomy 33 and 6 reads, let Reuben live and not die.
Let Reuben live. Let Reuben live. Come on.
And not die. And let not his men be few.
Let not his men be few, right? Because Jacob already prophesied and pronounced that Reuben would not excel. He will be unstable water, that's water, and he will be constantly being put to death, right? So, but Moses prayed and said, let Reuben live. Let Reuben not die. Don't go down to Sheol or be totally wiped out. Don't let him be and don't let his men be few. Let him have many sons, so he will be able to survive this thing. Because they was going to be massacred. The Seminole Indians was one of the tribes that was massacred, almost to the brink of this extinction. That's what they did. Andrew Jackson was the mug. He was a mug. What I want to do, let's go to this book right quick. Let's go to Lost Tribes and Promised Lands by Ronald Sanders. Is that his name? Yeah. Page 333.
93 or 363?
363, I'm sorry. Might have to come up a little bit. So if you heard. It's maybe it's 334. I mean 364.
Yeah.
It should be marked, underlined. Wherever there's underlined, that's what I want read.
Lost Tribes and Promised Lands, 364.
Page 364.
Upon hearing her words, they
Hold on,
rose.
Started. Go a few sentences up.
Montesinos?
Yeah. Can you see it? All right.
Montesino's story, unclear as to the circumstances of his own incarceration. Mm-hmm. It's equally unclear as to those of his release. But released he was, and he immediately went to Francisco. Mm-hmm.
Francisco was his slave. Francisco was an Israelite slave.
Revealing himself as a Jew. Mm-hmm. Montesinos proclaimed his conviction that Francisco's hidden people were of the same race as he. Would Francisco lead him to them? The two men were soon back in the rugged mountain in which Francisco had made his initial revelation, marching relentlessly for a week before they finally came to a halt. It was a Saturday. Montesinos makes a point of telling us, and they had come to a river larger than the Dorero. Mm-hmm. Are there echoes of the Sabbatean in all of these? On all of this, here Francisco announced, is where your brothers will be seen. Waving a banner high in the air, the Indian guide soon was greeted by a puff of a smoke far beyond the other bank of the river. In response to his signal, the two men waited. Eventually a canoe appeared, bearing 3 men and a woman, all of them Indians, to the place where Francisco had spoke to the place where Francisco and Montesinos were standing at the water's edge. The woman got off and spoke to Francisco in an Indian tongue, and Montesinos could not understand.
So Montesinos, he couldn't understand what the Indian woman was saying. But Montesinos also said that he was a Jew, a Jewish convert. So this is a white man stating that he was a Jew. But the real Israelites was his slave Francisco. Was his name Francisco? His was San Francisco, and the Indian woman that is standing there talking to in the Hebraic language. Come on.
Although he could perceive that he was being identified in the situation, upon hearing her words, they rose, went over to Montesinos, and to his utter astonishment,
And to Montesinos' astonishment, watch this.
said, Shema.
Shema.
Yisrael,
Yisrael. Adonai.
Elohim, Adonai, Ehad. Hear, O Israel, the Most High, our Yah. The Master is one. They had recited in Hebrew the fundamental creed of Judaism.
They recited the fundamental credo of all Israel. The Indians did. The so-called Indians did. Come on.
A brief conversation then ensued in their common ancestral tongue, according to Montesinos, whose fluency in it is almost as perplexing to the reader of his narrative as is that of his three mysterious new companions. They told him that they were themselves of the tribe of Reuben.
They told him what?
That they were of the tribe of Reuben.
They told him what?
That they were of the tribe of Reuben.
The Indians, this is a historical account. This is a historical account where the Indian tribe told him that they were of the tribe of Reuben. Come on.
And that the tribe of Joseph.
And the tribe of Joseph, Ephraim. Come on.
Lived on an island nearby.
Read on.
The day when they were at last to issue forth into the world was coming soon, they explained. But in the meantime, they could not allow visitors to cross over to them.
Was that it?
Yeah, that's it.
And read what's the next part? Next paragraph is marked.
Next paragraph that's marked is, only the sorcerers of his tribe have perceived that they were a special people and had given warnings that they should be left alone. The Yah of the children of Israel is the true Yah, the true God.
Read it again. Start from the beginning of the part that's got it marked. This is incredible, man. Again.
Only the sorcerers of his tribe had perceived that they were special people and had given warning that they should be left alone. The God of these children of Israel is the true God.
It's the that these people should be left alone. Come on.
They had said, and everything inscribed on their tablets is true.
So everything inscribed on their tablets is true, meaning they had writing. They were writing Hebrew as well. Come on.
At the end of the days, they will be lords of all the nations of the earth.
Don't that sound familiar? Don't that sound familiar? They said at the end of the days, we're gonna be the lords of this earth. At the end of the days, we're gonna be the lords of this earth. Read.
One nation will come bringing many things to this land. And after we have all been provided for, these children of Israel will go forth from where they now are and reign over the whole earth.
And reign over the whole earth. This is
as they once did.
As they once did. This is the history of the Indians that he encountered. He said, "This is our history. This is what we're expecting to happen." Was that it? Come on.
With this final flourish, Montesinos had turned his tale of the lost tribes into a bit of propaganda for the Dutch conquest of Brazil at the same time. That's it.
Yeah. So he went back and told other white folk what he had heard and what he had discovered. They had that, no, never mind, because they wicked as hell, and they came to ransack the Israel or the Indians anyway. When you come back, I want you to read the article for me. We want to get this article real quick, and then we're gonna be done with Reuben. So we have scripture that we went through, and we also have testimony that we went through. According to the Ronald Sanders book, Lost Tribes and Promised Lands, we supposedly have eyewitness testimony. Excuse me. You want me to pull it up?
Yeah.
You got it? All right. Yeah, so what we're doing is we're just going to go through Sister Megan. We're going to take our time with this too. So we're not going to rush through the next couple of weeks. We're not going to rush through anything. We want to make sure that we are thoroughly checking, because you just can't see brothers out here with 12 Tribe Charts and say they're making stuff up. That's not fair. They're not making something up. You know what I'm saying? And just because a man came up with it that was once righteous and became wicked, you know what I'm saying? We might as well throw most of the Bible out if that's the case. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
There's also as a Reuben Aborigines in Australia too.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. I've heard that. I didn't do much studying. Up on it, but I just looked at it for a minute, and that was it. You know what I'm saying? So, but we scattered everywhere. So, you know what I'm saying, is the Seminoles, Reuben, I believe with my eyes, I believe that I found evidence enough. I'll let everything be established out of 2 or 3 witnesses. You know what I'm saying? So I believe I found evidence enough that this is that the Seminole Indians are Reuben. Now, that's not to say that everybody claiming to be Seminole is Israelite. You understand what I'm saying? Everybody that's claiming to be Seminole, I'm not saying is Israelite. But the Seminole Indians, I believe, are Reuben. Did y'all understand what I meant by that?
Yeah.
Because you have Esau has mixed itself into a whole lot of different nations.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We got it. Is the article up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are Native Americans
Part of the 10 lost tribes.
right? Are Native Americans part of the 10 lost tribes?
Okay, you want to sit over here so you can? I don't know. I want to make sure that everybody can hear you.
Yeah.
You need a chair right there.
Sure.
Yeah, grab that chair.
That's cool. I can get it.
Oh, you good?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
When Europeans first glimpsed Native Americans more than 400 years ago, many were convinced they had discovered the lost tribes of Israel. A closer look, the connections are astounding. This hidden association has taken on greater importance recently as the two nations face similar threats, and perhaps even a common messianic vision quest.
All right. Let me say this right quick. This article was written by white Jews in Israel. This is their paper. What's the name of the paper? The paper is something in Israel something. The name of the paper. Do you see it on there? You don't see it on there? But it's we'll get it once we get the name of the article, because we want to make sure we scroll down so we can see the name of the article, because we want everybody to know that we're not making this up. I mean, you scroll up. I want you to scroll down. There it is.
Where?
Look at the top of the paper. I mean, the top of the screen. Scroll all the way till you can't scroll no more. Right there it is, ain't it? Keep going. What does it say right there?
The name of the paper?
The name at the top of the paper. Some Israel.
I can't see it.
Turn to face me. Turn the screen towards me.
Breaking Israel News.
Yeah, breaking. Yeah, that's the name of it.
Breaking Israel News.
It's called Breaking Israel News. This is based out of Israel, Israeli paper. Who wrote the paper? It's written by. It's in small print, very small, faint print.
Adam, Elihu,
Yep, that's it.
Berkowitz.
Adam Elihu Berkowitz. Ain't that German? Berkowitz. Adam Elihu Berkowitz is the person that wrote the article and is from Breaking Israel News. I just want everybody, because there's people online need to know that we're not making this up what's being read. You know what I'm saying? So they can go and they can look at it. All right, now scroll down and you can read the article now.
When Europeans first glimpsed Native Americans more than 400 years ago, many were convinced they had discovered the lost tribes of Israel. A closer look, the connections are astounding. This hidden association has taken on greater importance recently as the two nations face similar threats and perhaps even a common messianic vision quest. Unmistakable traces of Jewish prayer echo in the voice of Joseph Riverwind, the Amaru war chief of the northern Arawak nation, the indigenous people of South America and the Caribbean, as he sings Shema, Shema, Naina, Papasaka, Hoya, Yah. He translated this ancient Native American song for Breaking Israel News. Listen, people, as you gather together, we will dance before the Creator. This is strongly reminiscent of the Jewish prayer, Shema, which literally means hear. Mm-hmm. These two words are embodied in
But he actually said the name. The Indian chief actually said the name Yah. Y'all heard that, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Come on. They said creator, he said Yah. Mm.
Two worlds are embodied in Chief Riverwind, a descendant of both Native Americans and Benai Anuism, Jews who hid their identity as a result of the Spanish Inquisition.
Yeah, right. You know that part was a lie, right? Jews that hid their identity is a result of the Spanish Inquisition. Y'all look like the Spaniards. So how are you hiding? Come on.
For him, the connection between Native Americans and Judaism is clear. Mm-hmm. Among my people, our ancient name for God is Yah.
What did he say?
Is Yah. My people.
He said, among my people, this is the Native American chief.
Our ancient name for God
is Yah. Our ancient name for God is Yah.
Yah, the supreme spirit of spirits. Mm-hmm. Very similar to Yahweh. Chief Riverwind explained, among my wife's ancestors, mm-hmm. the Anatua Yah, which is Cherokee.
Which is what?
Which is Cherokee.
Which is the Cherokee Indians. Come on.
They call God Yahiwah. And the similarities don't stop there. Mm-hmm. They carried an ark into battle.
They did what?
Carried an ark into battle.
They carried an ark into battle.
Celebrate 7 feasts.
They celebrated 7 feasts.
Keep a 7th day of rest.
They keep a 7th day of rest.
Had cities of refuge.
Come
and
on.
Don't eat pork. Though the eerie etymological similarities may be coincidental, archetypal themes also connect the spirituality of Native Americans to the Bible. Chief Riverwind told of Choctaw story.
He told a Choctaw story?
Yeah, I get it. About how the Creator came to a man called Noah and told him that the world would be covered with water. The man was told to make a great raft to save mankind.
The man Noah is Noah. The man Noah is Noah. Come on. And he commanded the man to make the world be covered with waters, and he commanded the man to make a great raft.
The stories came from the oral traditions which date to pre-Columbian times.
They predate. So they were saying this before Columbus came. These were the stories that they were saying. Come on.
Another Native American story tells of a time when the world was all one landmass and we were all one tribe, explained Chief Riverwind. Mm-hmm. We tried to build a sky tower to the Creator.
The Babylon. Tower of Babylon. Come Come on.
These are pre-missionary oral traditions.
These are pre-missionary oral traditions. Mean before they brought us the Bible, we were already saying this.
They are passed down through specially trained storytellers who are forbidden from changing a single word.
The prophets they had in their communities.
The transoceanic cultural connection goes against most scientific theories about the origins of the Native Americans. Most anthropologists theorize that the Native Americans are descended from Siberian Mongolians
Yeah, right.
who migrated to North America via the Bering Strait,
That's a lie.
a 50-mile wide gap that separates Alaska from Russia. Chief Riverwind told Breaking Israel News that Native Americans tell a different story.
They tell their own story. They say we don't come. That's not how we got here. Come on. They tell a different story. That's not how we got here. We didn't Bering Strait.
Lost it again. Went up too far.
Give me second answer is 14. You know what I want. Is it 13 and 40 or 14 and 40? Which one? Second answer is 13 and 40.
Okay. All right, I'm ready.
You ready?
Yeah. Some Anishinaabe or Chippewa believe they are from the tribe of Ephraim.
They believe that they're from the tribe of Ephraim.
Chief Riverwind explained Anishinaabe is amazing, similar to the Hebrew words Anshinabi, people of the prophet. They lived on the coast, but their legends say that before that, they came from across the great waters. We have cave drawings of these ships that are very similar to the drawings of Phoenician ships in history books.
They came from across the great water. I mean, they sailed here from across the water. They telling their own story, and they got it depicted on the walls.
Right. The theory is astounding, but archaeological artifacts connecting to North America to ancient Israel are not uncommon. The Decalogue stone found in New Mexico is an 80-ton boulder on which an abridged version of the Ten Commandments is inscribed in ancient Paleo Hebrew. A letter group resembling the tetragrammaton Yahweh or YHWH or Yahweh makes 3 appearances. The stone is controversial and has never been tested in a laboratory or dated by scientific means.
Why they never tested it or dated?
Right.
Why they didn't? Because they know it's true.
Right. If authentic, it would prove a pre-Columbian connection between North America and Israel.
They know it's true. That's why they ain't tested. Don't need to test that because they know it's true. We don't want it in black and white.
Wow. The Newark Holy Stones.
We don't want that on paper.
Right.
Come on.
The Newark Holy Stones are artifacts discovered in 1860 within a cluster of ancient Indian burial mounds near Newark, Ohio. The mounds are one of the largest collections from ancient American Indian culture known as the Hope Well that existed from approximately 100 BCE to 500 CE, similar to the Decalogue stone. The Newark stones are inscribed with Bible verses in Hebrew. Many of these artifacts are discounted as hoaxes based on circumstantial evidence, the improbability of the existence of their existence and what it implies, despite strong corroboration, empirical proof of their validity.
Read that part again. Read that part again. Because the white man, if you listen to him, he tells on his damn self. Read it again.
Many of these artifacts are discounted as hoaxes.
They discount them as hoaxes. Come on.
Based on circumstantial evidence and probability of their existence and what it implies, despite strong cooperation.
In spite of strong cooperation, come on.
Empirical proof.
And empirical proof.
Of their validity.
Meaning it's true. It has so much evidence of being true. They still discount it as saying, oh, we don't believe it. but it has so much empirical evidence that it's true. If you listen, if you let the white man talk, he tells on himself every damn time. Every damn time. How much more we got left?
Oh, that's a lot.
It is?
Yeah.
Go on.
Chief Riverwind attributes this simplicity to ethnocentric tendencies. European historians have always underestimated so much of what was going on here before Columbus. He stated, they simply can't imagine men sailing from Israel to North America even when they are holding the proof in their hands.
Even when they're holding the proof in their hands. All right, that's all I want, man. That's all I want. Give me second Ezra 13 and 40.
All right, second Esdras 13 and 40.
Let everything be established out of the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses. Thank you, Ken.
Reads, those are the 10 tribes
Those are the 10 tribes.
which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Oshea the king,
Read.
whom Salmanassar, the king of Assyria, led away captive. And he carried them over the waters. And so came they into another land.
Come on.
But they took this counsel amongst themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen,
We're getting out of here.
and go forth into a farther country where never mankind dealt.
They went forth to a further country where never a mankind dwelt. A further country meaning they went to a faraway place where no man has ever placed his foot upon. Come on.
That they might there keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land.
And we see by evidence that they kept some statutes. They did keep some statutes. They got off, but they did keep some statutes. Come on.
And they entered the Euphrates by the narrow passages of the river. For the Most High then showed signs for them, and held still the flood till they were passed over. For through the country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half.
It took them a year and a half to get there.
And the same region is called Azaret.
Is that verse 44?
That's 45.
That's 45?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's read on down to 48.
All right. Then dealt they there until the latter time. And now when they shall begin to come, the highest shall stay the springs of the stream again, that they may go through. Therefore sawest thou the multitude with peace. But those that be left behind of thy people, are they that are found within my borders?
The remnant that's there. We just read about the people that's been left behind of thy people. We read about them in Isaiah 11th chapter. The remnant of the northern kingdom that's left on the east side of the world. Read.
49 reads. Now when he...
That was 40, that was 48?
Yep, that was 48.
That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted. Give me Genesis 49, start at verse 5.
Okay.
Genesis 49. We're done with Reuben. We're establishing out of the mouth of witnesses. Out of the mouth of witnesses. That's what we're establishing.
Genesis 49 reads, Simon and Levi are brethren. Instruments of cruelty are in their habitations. O my soul, come not thou into their secret.
Read verse 5 again, please.
Simon and Levi are brethren.
Is it all of the 12 tribes? Even all 12 of these men brethren?
Mm-hmm.
All 12 of these men are brethren. Why is our father Yaakov, why is he specifying Simon and Levi are brothers? Read it again.
Simon and Levi are brethren. Instruments of cruelty are in their habitation.
Instruments of cruelty is in their habitation. Read.
O my soul, come not thou into their secret.
Oh my soul, don't come into their secret. Come on.
Until their assembly my honor be not thou united. For in their anger they slew a man, and in their self will they dig down a wall. Keep on.
Verse 7.
Cursed be their anger, for it was fierce, and their wrath, for it was cruel. I will divide them in Yaakov, and scatter them in Israel.
Now, Simeon was of what? Northern kingdom, right? And Levi was of what?
Southern.
Southern kingdom. But remember, Levi was a part of the northern kingdom until they got kicked out. Now remember, let's get that history on that. 2 Chronicles 11 and 13. Let's read that history real quick.
2 Chronicles 11 and 13 reads, And the priests and the Levites that were in all Israel resorted to him out of all their coasts. For the Levites left their suburbs and their possession, and came to Judah and Jerusalem. For Jeroboam and his sons had cast them off for executing the priest's offices unto the Most High.
So Jeroboam said, "Get y'all Levites, get up out of here." Jeroboam said, "Y'all get up out of here. It's the northern kingdom." And they went to that's how the Levites end up with southern kingdom. Because at first they wasn't. All right. So we got some history on that. So Levi is part of the southern kingdom, right? And Simeon is part of the northern kingdom. So let's read what Jacob said again in verse 5, okay?
Genesis 49 and 5 reads, Simon and Levi are brethren.
Simon and Levi are brethren.
Instruments of cruelty are in their habitation.
And instruments of cruelty are in their habitation. That's all I wanted was verse 5, okay? Now Levi, according to the 12 tribe chart, present day name is the Haitians, located in Haiti and scattered regions of the earth. This is what I'm saying. Located in Haiti and scattered regions of the earth. There's still pockets of Levites on the coast, on the west coast of Africa. You understand that, or the Ashanti people. Some people believe the Ashanti people are because Levi had a son called Ashanti, or Ashant rather. Ashanti means descendant of Ashant.
And then the Levites are also in South Africa, the Limba.
The Limba tribe. Yeah. Some people believe that the Limba tribe is different pockets of Levites are different pockets of, just like we read in Ezekiel 11 and 16. You know what I'm saying? There are little sanctuaries everywhere. There's pockets of us everywhere, remnants of us everywhere. But a great majority of us have to be according to the Bible, have to be on the western hemisphere of the world, or the western side of the world, due to slavery and captivity. Slavery due to our captivity. All right, what was I going? Haiti. That's where I was going. Levi, present day name Haitians, located in Haiti, majority of them in Haiti, and scattered regions of the earth. He was born the third son of Jacob, according to Genesis 29 and 34. Simeon is present day Dominican, or present day Dominicans. Location, Dominican Republic, and scattered regions of the earth. Simeon means affliction. Simeon means affliction. He heard